In this series we'll go through how the UK driving test is marked and which skills you'll be judged on. You may have seen on the channel various faults being made in real and mock driving test videos, but here we'll go through each section of the test report one at a time, with verbal and visual examples of what is required, and what could incur faults. This is the driving test form used by examiners which they'll be tapping away at on their tablet device at times throughout the test. They also need to keep track of exercises completed, such as the hill start and parking maneuver amongst other things, so don't concern yourself with assuming they are only using this to mark faults, and just concentrate on the driving. If you are supervising a learner, don't use a tablet yourself, as it's illegal. Only driving examiners can, as they aren't considered a supervising driver. As far as the faults go, there are driving faults, sometimes referred to as minor faults. There are also serious faults and dangerous faults, both of which are sometimes referred to as major faults. You are allowed to make up to a total of 15 driving faults on the test and still pass. A 16th would result in a fail. You cannot afford any serious or dangerous faults, as committing one or more of these will also result in the failure of the test, regardless of how many driving faults are made. The first point where you could incur a serious fault is before you even get into the car, if you were to fail the eyesight test by being unable to read a car number plate from 20 meters away. If you need glasses to be able to read the number plate, then you must wear them while driving. In this episode we'll look at the move off section, with what they are looking for, and what kind of errors could be marked. Moving off from the side of the road, which you will have to do a few times, or from a parking space, you'll have to show you can check your mirrors and blind spots to move off safely.
And drive on when you're ready.
We're interrupted by the car ahead, and should at least check the right-hand door mirror and the shoulder again at this moment. We don't check the shoulder a second time, so there's a long delay between the final shoulder check and actually moving off. If there were a vehicle approaching in the blind spot that we failed to check again, this could have been a serious, or even a dangerous fault if it got really close. Another example would be if we moved off into the path of oncoming traffic. This could be marked as not moving off safely or as judgment for meeting traffic, as in some situations the categories can overlap. Moving directly in front of following traffic will be serious. We've seen a couple of examples for moving off safety. Moving off control, as it suggests, is about moving off under control, smoothly using the pedals and not allowing the car to roll back a significant distance on an incline. This can be at any junction, as well as pulling away from the side of the road. The candidate forgets to select first gear, so doesn't move away on the hill, but brakes before the car rolls back a considerable distance. If it had rolled back a bit further it could have been a serious fault instead. This time, not enough gas, and we have a stall. Stalling the car would also be a fault for moving off under control. If we hadn't already had the rollback, this stall would be a fault on its own, but since we just had a fault from the same category on the same spot of tarmac, it's not marked again. If we stopped and then stalled moving off on this hill, it's far enough away from the previous one to be marked again. But if we stalled on the hill twice in quick succession, it would still be one fault, unless it was upgraded to a serious fault by stalling many times in a row, or rolling back a significant distance, maybe even dangerously towards a car behind. If we committed the same driving fault several times throughout the test, this can be upgraded to a serious fault at the examiner's discretion, on a totting up process, somewhere between as little as 3 times, to as much as 5 times we can expect this to happen. Be sure to subscribe to find out next time when and why we need to check the mirrors.